Welcome to Between the Lines with James Spady, head football coach, Alabama A&M University. 30 minutes of highlights, features, and analysis of Alabama A&M Bulldog football. And now with your host, Ted Dixie, Between the Lines with Coach James Spady.
Hello there, and welcome to Between the Lines with James Spady. I'm your host, Ted Dixie. The Bulldogs kicked off the 2017 home season on Saturday in the annual Lewis Cruise Classic, hosting Texas Southern. Coach Spady, congratulations, because the Bulldogs won it 30-13.
Thank you. Appreciate that. It's always good to win. I mean, it makes you feel good. Everybody's confident, and a good occasion to do that when we have a chance to honor the legacy of a really great football coach in Lewis Cruise and the players that played for him. And it's a pretty nice situation to take home a win.
Sleeping in their own beds, vetting Coach Cruz, and then having the home opener coach, you and your staff did an excellent job of maintaining confidence through your opening schedule in the season, and then coming home and showing that enthusiasm, getting started with a quick start in the game.
The message has been since day one game at a time. We just want to be 1-0 this week. And you don't get too far ahead of yourself, and you certainly can't look back. Sometimes when you have a tough time, it can affect your next performance. And since we're only as good as the next performance, we're trying to make sure everybody's very short-sighted, don't get the long-term goggles on, and certainly don't look back. And so that has worked to this point. Keep your fingers crossed, because we're going to continue that philosophy.
The opener of the conference schedule, as well as it was for every other school in the SWAC. We'll talk a bit about the statistics and the standings later, though, Coach, but you have to really enjoy and like how your team started.
Again, man, we're 1-0, and that's all that matters right now. We only have the ability to be 1-0 at this point, and that's what you want to be. That's the goal for every team that played this weekend.
And we will see more of those highlights from the first half when we come back on Between the Lines with James Spady.
Parker is 29 and learning to communicate again. The students teaching him earn a degree with 100% job placement. But the real reward is changing a life. At Alabama A&M, it's a university where agencies actually go to recruit compassionate students who help themselves by helping others. Service is sovereignty at Alabama A&M University. Start here, go anywhere.
90.9 WJAB-FM Huntsville.
100,000 watts, 24 hours a day.
Smooth jazz and cool vocals.
I'm just a prisoner of love.
I get misty just holding your hand.
90.9 WJAB.
From the campus of Alabama A&M University.
Companies hunger for our food scientists. Here, a new generation manages our cities of tomorrow. The discovery of hardier plants, healthier animals, is growing at our research station, Alabama A&M University, where new designs and ideas are put to the test. Be a researcher in our labs, or a forestry fire dog in our fields. Alabama A&M University. Start here, go anywhere.
Thank you for watching, and welcome back to Between the Lines with James Spady. I'm Ted Dixie. Coach Spady, you're off to a 1-0 start, played well this week. It's a Lewis Cruise Classic as we look at the highlights, and we'll see a plethora of former Coach Cruz players.
A plethora, that's a $5 word. That's pretty good.
That's not like lexicon that you got off in the pregame.
Oh, you called me out on that. I got to tell you, though, and you share the same thing. When these guys come back to town, and we get a chance to engage with them and hear all the great stories and stuff and see how the game has changed. It's a great experience to trade on those guys' wisdom, to hear some of the things that made Alabama A&M football a great thing. And I tell our players all the time, we have a responsibility. They've created a foundation and a legacy that we stand on today. And we have a responsibility as a football team to really honor that with the way we play. We want to make sure that those guys feel confident that we represent what they worked so hard and bled and sweated for. And boy, it feels good to meet those guys and engage with them.
Big opening, Coach. We always like in your pregame activities the punt from Nick Carden and the Bulldogs gathering around at midfield.
And you can see right there's a lot of positive energy. They're really quiet in the locker room, and I made the statement, I sure hope this is, a quiet confidence. I hope you guys are, getting yourselves ready to play. And then we were able to kick the ball off and get after them on defense, man.
Texas Southern was able to find a couple of good things to work with, and we'll see here in the highlights, Coach, that the defense responds.
Well, I mean, here's the good thing. We were able to hold them to no points, through the first half. What that's a statement of is our defense really understanding where they're supposed to be and the effort with which to accomplish their jobs. And they really flew around as far as I'm concerned.
Good job by your team captains on today. Number 85, Yurick Bethune. Number 21, Marcellus Clash. Number 25, Nick Carden. And number 12, Devontae King. They played like they were captains, but also there was a great deal of help from other student athletes.
Well, I mean, it was a total team effort. Don't get me wrong now. It wasn't perfect by any stretch of imagination, but I'll take an ugly win. A win is a win, and we'll take it. They're hard to come by. So, Jordan Bentley making his return.
You said he ran like a man possessed, Coach.
Yeah, it was almost like he had something to prove. It's really a funny thing. Anyway, trying to find ways to get the ball in number 8's hands.
One of the fastest people in all of college football.
Oh, there's no doubt. He had right at about 200 yards of all-purpose yards, and was really valuable in our offensive effort.
There was an effort here, Coach, as the Bulldogs settled for 3 on this drive. There was a big decision along that drive when you were trying to decide whether to go for it or not.
It wasn't a big decision. Yeah. Well, I have a very aggressive nature.
That's right.
I'm very competitive, and sometimes I just think about it, and the smart thing to do is to take the points. Great interception right here. Is this Devontae? Yeah, no. Yeah, that's him. That's Devontae. Anyway, he great interception by him. And those guys are, again, bending but not breaking on defense, and that's always a good thing. And then Aquil, nice little possession route right there, gets the ball to our guys and allows them to, run after the catch, and that's important.
You've got a lot of rhythm in your opening 2 drives of the game, Coach. We noticed Aquil Glass, 22 of 37, 2 interceptions, 337 yards, 2 touchdowns.
He got credit for 2 interceptions, but both of those interceptions were unforced, in my opinion. They were not his fault. The one he threw to Octavius, and Octavius was trying to seat the ball. He was trying to bring the ball to his back shoulder, and it just slipped out of his hands. There it is. That's the one right there. It slipped out of his hands, and the defender was in the right position, so he gets an interception for that. I think it was a fumble, actually. But anyway, he gets an interception for that. And then the other one, I believe the defense was offsides, and for some reason it wasn't called. And I'm not making any comments because we're in SWAC play now.
Right.
But there were some things.
And the defense, of course, responds, and we were really impressed by, and this is it right here, the one play that Texas Southern ran that we didn't stop at first, and then later on the adjustment is made and it gets shut down.
Well, especially when you prepare for something and then you don't see it, or you don't prepare for something and you see it, you have to make the adjustments. And that's what we were able to do. As soon as the defensive staff could get those guys over there and draw it up for them, it was no longer a factor.
And of course, Coach, the special teams played a huge role in this game as well. Nick Carden only punted 3 times. He got a break this week.
Yeah, I'm disappointed that he only punted 3 times. I would like for him to have not punted at all. That means you're doing something, really positive on offense. Here's another statement run.
Okay.
I mean, I'm going to call it that. It's a statement run right there. There was no reason for him to have scored that touchdown right there. The defense had us outflanked. We had guys blocking guys.
Right.
But Jordan was bound and determined to score.
And, of course, that helps the attitude of the offensive linemen as we watch the replay here.
Yeah.
That they know if I can just hold the block for a little bit,
just
this
a
guy's
little while. If I give this guy a little crease, he's gonna score the football. And that's as a former offensive lineman, I can tell you that's a really nice thing to know. A really good piece of confidence to have.
You pulled Jordan Bentley out of the garage, Coach. He gets 2 touchdowns, has about 51 yards rushing, and then you put him on the shelf.
I put him back in the garage. I mean,
put the cover back on and polished her up and sit it for the next week.
I mean, okay, so let's be honest now. An 80% Jordan Bentley is pretty good, but
right.
but I want 100% Jordan Bentley for down the stretch. This is a great throw right here by Quill Glass.
We lofted that one.
This is what we knew he was capable of. We knew that this guy is a pocket passer. He's got a very, just a big-time quarterback demeanor and acumen. And so to watch this guy manipulate the pocket like he does right here, throw good passes to these. I told you we have one of the most talented receiving cores in the. Is it cores or core? Core is plural.
Well, that's right. We'll go with that.
we have one of the most dynamic, in my opinion, and very effective receiving group. And so, you got to give those guys opportunities to get their name called. And so he was able to kind of stretch it out and do that yesterday.
A new thing at Louis Cruz Stadium is the cannon going off after a touchdown, and ROTC doing push-ups. You're about to wear some people out down that end zone.
I hope they get their weight game up, because that means we're scoring a lot of points, right?
That's right. It's 2 weeks in a row. Great throw right here.
Yeah. This was another statement run by Jordan. Did you see that?
Man, he pounded him.
His first point of contact was at the line of scrimmage, and then he just decided, you know what, you're not going to tackle me. I'm going to go across the goal line with this ball.
Bulldogs scored 3 points in the first quarter and then have an explosion in the second quarter going to halftime leading.
Okay, so when you talk about winning football games, you also have to talk about building for the next week and for down the road. I got to tell you, we left probably about 17 points on the field in the first half. Maybe fairly 13 points in the first half. Should have had 7 in that first drive, and we got 3.
3, right.
Okay. Should have had a touchdown on the drive where Octavius, tried to switch the ball and they got the interception, and we had a extra point blocked. So there's an opportunity for us to really blow this game away, and we're gonna have to work on the fundamentals of making sure that happens. That was class, and he caught this pass. But you have to control it all the way to the ground.
That's the rule.
Yeah, and so they called it incomplete.
Coach, great job by your offense. I know we've been taking a pounding early in the season, but to see the guys come back and compete and play the way they've been coached is special for us.
Well, okay, take a pounding. That's probably true, and we want to compete. And
right.
So, as tough as it is playing against an SEC team or Conference USA team or Sun Belt team, makes no difference. You want to compete, and you want to be, you want to feel like you have an opportunity. And so then you get the competition that's a little bit more in your weight class.
That's right. There you go.
Yeah. And so then you have to prove what you already felt the previous 3 weeks of the season. We felt like we had a quality product. And, but we're lightweight, and we're fighting in the heavyweight division. And now we get to fight in the lightweight division. And hopefully we're doing the things that we need to do fundamentally to allow us to have success going forward. And again, one step, one game, one day at a time.
And now we'll look at the next half of the first game when we come back on Between the Lines with James Spady.
Darryl brings new energy to the power plant. Julian's accounting is by the numbers. They're student interns from the College of Business and Public Affairs at Alabama A&M University, where marketing class connects with the community and companies come to recruit. So while Kyle strengthens his managerial skills, he's earning a business degree and experience at Alabama A&M University. Start here, go anywhere.
90.9 WJAB FM Huntsville.
100,000 watts, 24 hours a day.
Smooth jazz and cool vocals.
Give your all to me, I'll give my all to you.
90.9 FM WJAB.
For the campus of Alabama A&M University.
Engineering and science usually look like this, but our students build race cars from the ground up, explore wind tunnels, particle accelerators, and crystal growth. Our studies in cybersecurity and rocket propulsion have tech companies like Google and SpaceX recruiting at Alabama A&M University, with one of the highest percentages of women STEM graduates in the country. Alabama A&M University. Start here, go anywhere.
Thank you for watching and welcome back to Between the Lines with James Spady. I'm Ted Dixie. The Bulldogs are up at the half, 23-0, Coach. It's good to be at home and you're in the locker room. What are you thinking about doing in the second half?
Well, I had to contain myself because I was trying to figure out how we could have gotten that 17 points back that we had squandered away. We left about, realistically, about 10 or 13 points on the field in the first half, and I'm thinking to myself, boy, we've got to find a way to fix those errors because they're unforced errors. It's not like the other team took those points away from us. It was something that we either did or didn't do that didn't allow us to score those points. And we're going to need to have that going forward because we're going to play some really good football teams that you cannot get away with leaving points on the field or giving them points or something like that. And so we'll have to look at the film and figure out why those things happen and get that fixed. So the message is, as always, fellas, come back out second half. We get the ball first. And if we can put something together, strategically, and keep our defense off the field and make them feel like, they can make some more adjustments and do some things, then you dominate the second half and you win the game.
10 penalties on the night for the Bulldogs. Coach, did you say anything about that at half? But we know in the second half there were some other incidents that occurred.
At this point in the game, I'm not thinking that we committed 10 penalties. I'm thinking that we got 10 penalties called. Does that make sense?
It does.
And so I did not have a feel for, we're being irresponsible, and that's the reason why we're getting penalties. I'm trying to keep away from.
That's right.
We're in swag play now, and I'm trying to keep away from saying anything crazy. But I just didn't feel like we're not a heavily penalized team. We're a very disciplined football group, and those kind of penalties usually happen to us. We don't create those.
And then the opening kick in the second half, the Bulldogs will take possession and have a good start and a good rhythm, and you're trying to get that reestablished in the second half.
And then, you get a couple penalties called against you for, a phantom chop block, and some things like that, and that derails the drive. And I'm cautioning our guys, listen, don't let down. Don't take your foot off the gas. Don't do anything dumb to cost yourself an opportunity. And so, we're really just trying to put it together and put our foot down on the gas in the second half.
I know you like holding trophies. This is the 8th annual Lewis Cruise Classic that does include a trophy. And here's Jordan Bentley again.
Yeah, the guys were asking for that trophy last night too.
Really?
Yeah, they wanted to take pictures with it. I guess social media is a thing. Yeah, Jordan Bentley wanted to get off to a good start in the second half. I knew he wasn't going to play much longer, so it was good to see that. We run a little run pass option right there, and there's a little double coverage on the tight end, Rod Randolph, and he doesn't come down with it. Here's a junior college transfer, Isaiah Bailey, with his first Division I touchdown. How about that?
Great feeling. I know we met his parents on the road. He's a great young man. Happy to have him.
He was so excited, and I'm glad that could have happened for him. Now, he's got excellent hands. He's a big receiver. He's got excellent hands. It's good to see him have some success.
Now, Glass completed passes to 9 different receivers last night,
How
Coach.
about that?
So that's got to add to the mystery, or could you say what people have to think about when dealing with Mr. Glass going forward?
Well, I've said it ad nauseum. We have our wide receiver group, our skill position group, including the tight ends. We're as good as anybody in our league. And so who are you going to cover? Who are you going to double cover? You're going to bracket Class? Then you're going to have trouble with Miles. You're going to double cover Heath? Then you're going to have trouble with Monte Jones.
Pick your poison.
And then I take Heath out and put in Bailey, and what are you going to do with him? And so, hopefully that works our advantage going forward.
Texas Southern does get on the board. We had the shutout going, but as we mentioned, there was a situation that they were able to take advantage of that got corrected later on.
Look at this beautiful kickoff return. And then we get a penalty on this one, and it's going to be interesting for me to see. I haven't seen what could have been this call. I really haven't seen it. But what a beautiful return. Harvey Harris.
Who converts from running back
they
to
call block below
defensive back. And we couldn't see that one. I believe our spotter, Darrell Griffin, and Michael Burns could not see that on the play.
Yeah.
But no matter, because the Bulldogs line back up, and we'll give it to Joseph Burke this time, and he starts to hammer the defense.
Well, that's a pretty nice, weapon to have. Joseph Burke is a talented kind of a between the tackles runner, very bruising running back.
Definitely bad.
We've still got Byron Brower, who also has very much the same ability. And so when we pull the reins back and pull Jordan Bentley out of the game, that doesn't mean that it's over. It doesn't mean that we're not going to be able to run the football. It just means that we may change our approach a little bit.
You had these leadership moments with your team, Coach. So while Mr. Brower is at practice, speaking to Mr. Burke, and they're talking on the sideline, part of the conversation not only dwelled on what practice was like, but about going to class as well.
Yeah, we talk about it every day. You can't be an excellent football player on Saturday if you didn't exhibit excellence throughout the week. And one of the things that's a daily mandate for us. It's mandatory that you go to class. It's mandatory that you be a leader in the classroom, be a leader on campus. Who's that?
Devontae King on the interception, and second of the day.
How about that? He is such a talented young man. He's been in our group this is his 4th year. He's a senior. And, I'm going to hate to see that guy go.
He's one of my buddies, or my guys, as I call him, Coach, and I'm still upset that he hasn't been named All Southwestern Athletic Conference at cornerback.
Well, I mean, hopefully we're starting to get on their radar screen. But I tell you what, so many kids have deserved it over the years. And, anyway.
And as a teacher, that's got to give you joy for people to get recognition, but the journey is more enjoyable than actually reaching the top.
Well, that's where we get our satisfaction. That's the icing on the cake. But just building the cake is what's important to us as teachers. You like to see your guy go from empty to full, and it's an important thing.
And now, Coach, with the final score being 30-13, you and Coach Haywood have a little bit of history here. What was your conversation like at the end of the game?
I was very cordial. Coach Haywood is a class guy, and so when he came over and he said we were a good team, he said congratulations, good win or whatever, something to that effect. And I told him, you guys wish you good luck going forward. You guys played great second half, and so on and so forth, and we went on about our business.
That head coaching fraternity in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, the most competitive conference in the football championship subdivision, always bears its being by looking at the style of play or the strategy employed by the opposing coach, and that fraternity is very small.
Make no mistake about it, there are some tremendous football coaches in our conference. They are extremely knowledgeable, extremely experienced. These guys are leaders of men, and from top to bottom. I've met every one of them, obviously, and from top to bottom, they're great examples, great leaders for their programs, and Coach Haywood reflects that as well.
Quickly, Coach, what did you actually learn about your team that you didn't know in this game?
Well, I didn't know we could throw the ball for 337 yards. I didn't know that. I knew that our quarterback had that ability. I knew that our offensive line, by the way, we haven't done them enough justice today. They ran off the football. They were aggressive in their blocking. And I always tell you, I don't mind post-snap penalties as much as I do pre-snap penalties. No pre-snap penalties out of that group.
We love that.
Now we had some post-snap, but it was because they were aggressive, and they were trying to really take command of the football game. They wanted to set the tempo, and our offensive line under Keith Wagner's leadership, Alvante Kirksey and Chaz Wilson and
yes, sir.
Some of those other guys, they did a great job yesterday.
If I don't call Shanye Ream's name, he's going to get on me
Tavares
next week.
Butler.
And it's good, especially when Coach says I'm the ugliest one of that group.
Josh Williams. I mean, since we're calling him
hard, he's worked hard since
right.
he's been here.
Josh
has worked really hard. And when we come back, we will have a look at the Bulldogs' next opponent. That will be the Arkansas Pine Bluff Golden Lions at homecoming here at Lewis Cruz Stadium. We come back on Between the Lines with James Spady.
Companies hunger for our food scientists. Here, a new generation manages our cities of tomorrow. The discovery of hardier plants, healthier animals, is growing at our research station, Alabama A&M University, where new designs and ideas are put to the test. Be a researcher in our labs, or a forestry fire dog in our fields. Alabama A&M University. Start here, go anywhere.
90.9 WJAB FM Huntsville.
100,000 watts, 24 hours a day.
Smooth jazz and cool vocals.
And the home of mellow madness till midnight.
You bring me joy.
90.9 WJAB.
From the campus of Alabama A&M University.
Parker is 29 and learning to communicate again. The students teaching him earn a degree with 100% job placement. But the real reward is changing a life. At Alabama A&M, it's a university where agencies actually go to recruit compassionate students who help themselves by helping others. Service is sovereignty at Alabama A&M University. Start here, go anywhere.
Welcome back to Between the Lines with James Spady. I'm Ted Dixie. To the victor go the spoils. Coach Spady, you got your spoils here from the 8th annual Lewis Cruise Classic.
It's really nice. You know, I like trophies. And anytime we have an opportunity to, wait a minute, there's a little smudge right there. Anytime we have an opportunity to, you know, kind of show off our hardware, that's pretty nice. But I mean, you know, this is just the one that gets us to what we think our end of the season goal should be. And you can't win that one without winning this one first.
And to continue on that journey, University of Arkansas Pine Bluff comes to the Hill next Saturday. It's homecoming on the Hill. Coach, I always wonder about this. How do you keep your student athletes focused on football and not homecoming?
Well, what a great question, because you know we operate in a situation where there are a lot of events. There's a lot of hoopla surrounding homecoming, and we wouldn't have it any other way. I think that's important, especially because we do operate in an HBCU setting. I think that the campus life is important to the education of the students. And what we're going to do is we're going to tell our guys, hey, enjoy your homecoming. It's your homecoming too. But everybody came here for one reason and one reason only, and that was to enjoy the game. And so the game is the pivotal thing. And so if you're doing something and it doesn't help you win the game, you're going to spoil everybody's homecoming. So we'll shut them down on Thursday so that they can get focused and zeroed in on the game plan. And then we're going to play on Saturday.
Please, for more information about homecoming activities, visit aamu.edu. And the number for more information for game day tickets, 256-372-4700. There will be a heavy population of vehicles on campus that day. Please also remember our clear bag policy at Lewis Cruise Stadium. Thank you so much for watching this week. We'll see you next week when we talk about another Bulldogs victory on Between the Lines with James Spady.
90.9 WJAB FM Huntsville.
100,000 watts, 24 hours a day.
Smooth jazz and cool vocals.
And the home of mellow madness till midnight.
You bring me joy.
90.9 WJAB.
From the campus of Alabama A&M University.